We're going to start off by talking about the reality of AI adoption, and we've got Ilya and Tomi coming up. So Ilya from Layer AI and Tomi from Cosmic Lounge are going to come on up and tell us all about the reality of adoption in the studio. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining the session. We're happy to kickstart the Practical AI track. And my name is Ilya. I'm the director of BD at Layer, and Layer is the end-to-end platform that empowers creators and artists in video games industries by letting them to tap into AI models and scale their production pipelines, and basically makes their lives easier. And as mentioned in the previous session, there's a lot of hype and buzz around AI, and it's very easy to get lost. And we know that it's true because even this year, PGC has not just one, but 2 tracks dedicated to AI. And we're happy to talk about the practical application and the real-world examples, how AI helps studios today. And to help with that, we have amazing Tomi from Cosmic Lounge. Cosmic Lounge is an AI-first puzzle game studio that has amazing examples how AI can bring innovation and empower teams. I will let Tomi say a couple of words.
Yes, hello everybody, it's great to be here, talk about my favorite topic, which is using AI for game development. And so that was a quick introduction about myself, but maybe just to add to that, that I've been in the games industry for a long time, and actually we're talking about gambling and casino games. That's where I originally came from, but we have been doing mobile games for ages, as you can see from the long gray beard already. So the company Cosmic Lounge, we have founded 2022 in March, and if you think back about time, there was no AI boom then, so it wasn't like a big thing. And why we started the company, it was founded by 6 game industry veterans who have been working on puzzle games for a long time. And we started from the angle of what are the big problems, because we've been working for different companies and seen companies repeat same sort of mistakes or making their life miserable, sometimes building games. So we wanted to solve those big problems we've seen in the industry, and that's where the starting point was. And some of those big problems was how do you know if an idea is a good idea? So in game companies, there's a lot of creative people. Everybody has an idea of a potential new hit game, but you don't really know if that idea is a good idea before you have some prototype to try playing that. And we wanted to make it as easy as possible for our designers to try different puzzle game mechanics. Then there's other areas that are always challenges, especially for casual puzzle games, the content. Some of the games, they have more than 20,000 levels, and there's content production has always been a limitation, and that has, of course, limited designers to create games that they wanted to do. So putting all these problems together, we started thinking about what are the solutions, and we came to the conclusion that if we can do our own engine, which is making it, giving no-code tool set for our designers so they can try different things easier. And then for content production and architecture, we had very different sort of technologies that companies generally are using. And that's when we started thinking about the AI. There were different AI models started popping up, and we realized that, hang on a second, so if we put AI model for this use case, for that use case, and that use case, we get a huge boost for the advantages that was already provided by our technology. And that's, I would say, how we became AI native.
Amazing. And you mentioned building prototypes. There's the engine behind it, right? How is it called?
We call it Puzzle Engine, so we are not licensing it, so it's just an internal tool. But one of the differences in that engine is that all the puzzle game logic is in data format, so the designers actually use tools to configure how different components work, so that makes it very easy for them to come up with new ideas. So this is not just about match 3, but any kind of puzzle game, mostly grid-based, but there's a lot of unlimited amount of great game ideas, which nobody has yet done, and that's what our tool enables our designers to test and try.
So there's one aspect of it would be testing game mechanics and trying some prototypes and letting your developers and the engine test the mechanics before you push it into the game title. The other part of it is absolutely art, right? And so how do you currently navigate, or how do you use the technology nowadays to speed up the production, test out new assets in the game and place them in the game? Is there any, well, I'm kind of leading here to the to layer.
Yeah, can I, I'll answer to that soon, but I'll actually say something about the testing of the ideas. So we always test with real players. So where AI and our engine is helping our designers to, significantly accelerate the production of prototypes, which are like really good looking production level prototypes that we then test with different methods with different players. So and actually related to some things that were mentioned in the previous session was that AI doesn't really know what good looks like or what something new and good looks like.
It doesn't have a taste.
Yeah, it doesn't have a taste. Like I really like that comment. So for us, it is often about making things quicker so that we can test it with real players. Then there's some use cases where you can tell AI what good looks like, and that's one of those examples is like level design or level generation, because you have sort of much sort of a narrower scope of what the good looks like, and there you can let AI make the recommendations that I think this is good. But then going back to the art side, obviously that's probably the most familiar use of AI for a lot of people. And we started using, actually also when we started testing different art styles and different concepts, we started using very early AI-generated art for that, just to sort of find out what people would like. And so we've been using it from the day one, I would say. And here I would also mention that we have an art team, and we have very professional artists who have been doing games for a long time, and that applies for I would say for every area of game development. You still want to have an expert for each area, but you want to give the best possible tools for those experts, and that's where the AI comes in, and that's also applies for art. So the different use cases for art, like this, if we go back to prototyping, that's where, I mean, it's like huge acceleration of trying different things, seen visually, even internally when you communicate things. But then when you test with real audience, absolutely, art AI is a fantastic thing. Then for the prototyping, we wanted to make the workflows as efficient and seamless for our designers. So when they do prototypes, we actually integrate it to our puzzle engine. So same tool where they design the mechanics and levels, we integrate it to different art AI models that they can, from that UI, actually generate placeholder AI when they do the prototype. And then later, we actually now have also done a layer integration. We can probably go to details why we really like using layer as part of our production process. But for some 2D art, I think in our current game, which is in soft launch, I think there are images which are straight from layer. So
directly into the engine.
Yeah, so I think there's... so it really varies, like how much manual work do you need for certain art. It's up to the artist to decide. But I think we are getting to a production level art in some cases already. Although... yeah, maybe.
Yeah, before we move to the art part and the integration, I would like to emphasize what you mentioned before, that replacing experts in the team is definitely not the avenue people should be and studios should be pursuing, because AI is not out there to create IP or create original art. It's still up to the artists, their vision, who define the art style and the vision behind the game. And then what AI can help do is replicate that vision, replicate that art style, and then help the teams produce the assets at much bigger scale than they would do without the help of AI. And I think this is where the so-called custom styles or LoRAs are coming into power and play. When we can train AI to understand the art style, to reproduce that art style in more inconsistent way, so that you can basically save a lot of time and resources while keeping your original vision in the game. And I think we have one quick example to show here with so these are two GIFs or GIFs, I still don't know what's the right way to pronounce it, that are showing the integration of Layer into Cosmic Lounge's puzzle engine. And maybe, Tomi, you can share a little bit more. I don't know whether we start with the bottom one or the top one, where you can see generation of assets and them going directly into the puzzle engine and the preview of the scene in the Unity. Is that correct?
Yeah, let's do that. So yeah, the puzzle engine is built on top of Unity. So if you see some familiar sort of UI components, that really is on Unity. There's a lot of code in puzzle engine, so it's actually quite huge piece of software. So what you see here is, if we start from the top, so this is showing the sort of prototyping phase. So here the designer is thinking about new kind of mini game and generating ladybugs and whatever the butterflies. And the only thing what the designer needs to do is actually just write the ladybug, because the designer has already pre-selected the style, which has been trained in Layer. Of course, you don't need to limit per style, but you can, and that is super important, especially when you go into production. So here is on the left, you can see an image of a short clip of our game, Pets and Puzzles. So what is shown here is like you can actually generate using certain style which has been trained based on images created by own artists. It comes straight from Layer, and you can pretty much pick and just drag and drop or just select a new asset, and you can see immediately what it looks like in the game. So that makes it also very fast to sort of try out and see what works.
And so we covered the creating art, scaling production, using custom styles to create more consistent art and place it directly into the game using the API. There's one thing that the developers or artists sometimes struggle, and that is creating the art assets in the required angle.
Yes, yeah,
and
that's right.
That's something that developers often struggle, because AI doesn't really understand what is isometric view. It can skew it a little bit by a couple of degrees. So is there a way to go around that or not?
Yeah, so this is one specific problem. Like if you look at the game image, it is a certain perspective, and when you generate 2D images, you never really know what the perspective you get, so it's a bit of trial and error. So sometimes what we have started also doing is that if you get some image that you really like, but it's in a wrong perspective, what we have done is using different art AI tools of taking like in this case, maybe one of these, well, the perspective doesn't matter, but let's take the doghouse. So you take the 2D image, which is art generated based on the style trained by our artists. You take that into a 3D tool, generate the 3D, put it in the right angle, take it back to a 2D AI tool, and then you have it. Then you have the angle, and you have the same style. So of course, a lot of these sort of there's actually, well, it might sound like that, artist just presses the button and everything happens. There's actually a lot of back and forth between the artist and the different AI tools. But there's a huge production sort of efficiency increase when you have the best tools, and in today it really means using tools with AI.
Actually, that workflow would be possible in Layer as well, since Layer doesn't only power 2D generation, it offers 3D and videos as well. So as you mentioned, you create the asset, you move it, you use the image to model flow to create an asset in the 3D model generator, then you place it in the right angle. Then the trick here is that when you regenerate that asset into 2D, back into 2D, you're using the trained style, which will bring back the asset, a visual art style, into this consistent art style that we're trying to pursue. And this way you will not sacrifice in the direction or the art style vision. Using this trick helps us to reposition the asset into the right angle, which is a great life hack. I actually didn't know about this. Thank you, Tomi, for sharing this. But now we're getting short on time. I would like to cover the topics that are very popular these days, and that is advertising and UA. And from my experience, what I see how studios are utilizing AI that is very much into video. creating narrative-based videos for advertising, or even testing some mechanics or mini games that haven't been out there. So, Tomi, what's the stance of Cosmic Launch when it comes to creating UA videos? What value does AI bring, and what problems it helps to solve when we try to market the games ethically?
Yeah. So I think, well, all of us have seen deep fake videos, and so you know that AI can generate, it's getting pretty good in creating videos which you can make look like anything. But maybe starting from the mini games, so I think everybody's familiar with misleading ads, and mobile gaming companies are using them a lot because you have a lot of freedom of making whatever kind of ad that attracts players, and you get a low CPI. But then the problem is that if the players don't get what was promised, a lot of them churn. But still, enough players stay that you have a lower cost per retain user. So what we did with our engine was that our designers are able to also create mini games using the engine. So because of that, we are not using misleading ads. So the ads we are showing, if there's a mini game, it's also available in the game, and that's why we can avoid the churn problem there.
There's an example you can show as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, let's maybe
go back.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Let's stay here. So okay, I need to tell the background of this. All right, so that's the mini games that we use, and of course you can just record the video, the mini game video, and then you can add it to the ad creative and all that. But now related to ad creative, so why I wanted to show this image is actually from one of our company parties, and we have like 2 parties, summer party, winter party every year, and we always do some fun experiment with AI, and this is from the last one where the idea was that everybody had to come up with the worst possible mini game idea. And so then we were voting like who has the worst idea. And the idea was then visualized with the video, which was AI generated. That's what you see on the left. And then to make it more fun, we just created fun characters and actually recorded them, like made them as AI personas and made them review those bad videos. And that's where this screenshot is from. I probably will put the whole video of all these characters to LinkedIn, because they are super funny. Anyway, so what we found out there was that AI is so well trained making different characters and like how they act and how they tell the story. It's really good. Like you really feel like a movie producer when you work with some of the latest AIs for videos, and of course for ad creatives, that's super useful. But then the mini game video, what we also found out is that when you were trying to even if we showed the sort of starting frame of the minigame idea and the end frame, the AI really didn't understand the gameplay logic. We were trying to explain like this is what happens in the minigame, make a video of that, but like that was like one finding, that AI doesn't really understand how games work yet, and that's something what of course we have designers for. But our plan how to take this further is to, when you have a new minigame idea in a puzzle engine, then you can just pretty much ask AI to generate ad creatives based on those games. So there's a lot of steps if you combine the right technologies and tools and the workflows. I think you can. There will be a lot of better ways of doing marketing content in the future.
And that, I'm afraid, is a fantastic place for us to end it. Thank you, guys. That was really good. We actually don't have enough time for questions, unfortunately. So, but a round of applause, please, for a fantastic introduction there.
Thank you.
I'm totally with you that AI doesn't understand games. Let's face it, AI doesn't actually understand.